In the last week or so, I've done 3 gigs using 3 completely different setups with my quad Cortex. Its versatility is fantastic. It's doing things that I never intended it to do when I bought it. So I'm going to go through in this video and show you the 3 different setups I've used with some live footage from the gigs where I used it, and I'll go through the presets in detail, and they will all be available on my quad Cortex cloud profile, which is TJ Walker, so check it out. I'll put a link in the description. I was asked to stand in at the last minute at a festival in London. It was a blues and jazz festival in Ealing with a band called Jade Like a Stone. The guitarist got pinged by the COVID app telling him he had to isolate about 2 days before the gig, so I got called in an emergency. I had to quickly learn the set, and we were using hired backline, and I knew it was going to be an issue parking. I was probably going to have quite a long walk, so I didn't want to take my big heavy pedal board. So this first setup is using the quad Cortex to replace my pedal board. I was going into a hired amp, which turned out to be a Fender Twin, but using all the drive etc on here. I needed various sounds, like a kind of phasey sound, some tremolo and wah and a bit of delay. So I'll show you the footage, then I'll go through the preset. This is my preset to replace my pedal board, my live pedal board, and as per the live pedal board, the first thing in line is the EP booster. This is actually a capture of my own EP booster, so this is with it set on about 1/4, everything's set flat. This capture is available on my profile. Next in line, as per my normal pedal board, I've got a wah pedal. Now I've got this set on the Expression Pedal 1, and with the new update you're able to set it so when it's heel down it's disabled, so it's in here, so you have it assigned. So I've got it set to heel toe, which means that when I activate it and move it away from the heel down, it turns on. Back to heel down, turns off, which is great, so it means you don't have to have a separate switch. Then next in line, this is my Keeley modded BD2. That's with it on about halfway. I've knocked the volume down there. I mean, that's kind of just to make it sit with the clean sound okay. Next in line, This is actually one of the models that comes with the Quad Cortex. It's of the BB preamp, the Exotic BB preamp, which I really like the sound of this. So if I turn that one on, which one? There, you can see that's the settings I've got for that. Actually, if I go back to here, you can see the settings that I've got for the BD2. Next in line is my Tube Screamer. Let's turn that one on so you can see it. That's a model of my Tube Screamer on about 4, and that's the settings that I've chosen. Then I needed a couple of different sounds for different songs. I got a tremolo on there, which I just added. I think that's probably pretty much as it defaults. Then I've got a phaser, which I use for the kind of phasey sound. How do I let's turn these on so we can see them? There you go. There's the tremolo. There you go. I know you can't always see it on the camera. I forget that till I edit it. And then I've got a delay, which obviously works with the tap tempo, whatever the song. I kept it as a simple delay there. And then finally a spring reverb. Now there was reverb on the amp, so I had this turned off most of the time, but the first track had a really reverby, almost Dick Daley type sound, so I stuck that on this patch, and I used it in stomp mode with that gig view, so I was able to see what I need to turn on and off, which was very useful. I didn't set a gain with a volume pedal thing. I didn't need it on this gig because it was all fairly straightforward sort of stuff. I didn't need sort of high gain rhythm sounds or anything like that. So there you go, that's that preset. So the second setup I used this for was on acoustic guitar. I did a gig with my band. We were headlining at the Lewis Con Club, which is near Brighton on the south coast of England. And I did a little warm-up slot. I did 4 songs on acoustic guitar on my own. Now I use a looper with the Quad Cortex. I also use an IR, an impulse response, which is actually an impulse response that I downloaded for free of a Martin guitar, which I overlay over the sound of my guitar to make it sound more realistic. Now I've actually done an entire video on this preset. I've set up scene modes and all kinds of things for looping up the bass and the drums, etc. But I go into great detail in this video, which I'll link here. So check that out, and I've put all the information where you can download the IR and where you can download the preset. So check that out. And now here's a bit of footage. The first song is a version of Free Falling by Tom Petty, and the second song is one of my own songs called Coming Home. setup 3. Now this one, it was a function gig, it was playing at a wedding, and we had a proper PA, we had plenty of monitoring sends, and I was able to use my in-ear monitors, so I decided to dispense with the amplifier altogether and just use the quad Cortex on its own, and it worked out really well. Now I've got some footage here from my GoPro which I clipped on my mic stand. From now I'm going to call this the kneecap cam, because that's about where the camera is mounted. The audio's not so good on this because there wasn't any on-stage monitoring. It's all in-ears and out the front. You can't hear the guitar that clearly, but I think you can hear it well enough to see what's going on. Now with this preset I'm going to go into more detail on this one because I've used it in such a way, I've set it up that makes it very versatile for functions, so you can get various different gain settings using the volume pedal and the different drive blocks that I put into the preset. So I'm going to go into more detail in that. I'm going to show you the footage first, then I'll go through the preset. This one will be available to download as well. This is the preset I used on that footage. The difference here is I've got an amp block because I'm not using an amp. This is a capture of my car Viceroy. This capture is available on my profile. So that's the last block in line. I'm pleased with the sound of that, that's why I used that one rather than either my Fender captures. And I used it in this gig view mode. I've set foot switches for the gain and the wah rather than having the wah set automatically because I need to switch between the two. So got the wah there, hopefully you can hear it on the camera, and then a gain. You can't really have both on at once because you get a wah and the volume disappearing. So I've got a gain block there which is down here after all the drive pedals, which I'll explain why I do that, but before the spring reverb and the delay. So going through the preset, I've got, same as the last one, let's put it in this mode, I've got the EP booster first in line, just adds a bit of colour. Then I've got my Boss BD2, then the exotic one, which is the model that comes with the quad Cortex, and then my Tube Screamer, which is available as one of my captures. And then I've got a delay and a tremolo. Now the reason I have this set with the gain is, for example, on the song Ain't Nobody, I need a driven rhythm sound. So the way I would achieve that is probably put on 2 of the drive pedals and then kick back the gain, so I've got a then if I need to solo, I can then choose my whichever gains I want, put it onto, kick the volume pedal full down, and then if I go back to the rhythm sound, gives me kind of infinite variations of gain staging. So if I wanted just say the tube screamer on solo, if I then want to back that off on the guitar, I can clean it up. If I want it fully distorted, or the full gain of the pedal but at less volume, I just bring back the volume pedal slightly. So by balancing those things, and I can even put on all the drive pedals, pull back the volume pedal and get a very distorted sound. Hopefully you can hear that on the camera microphone. But there we are, that's that preset. That's called Car Viceroy Telly, and I shall make that available on my profile as well. So there we are, 3 different setups, 3 different gigs. Please go and check out my presets on the Cortex cloud. My username is TJ Walker. I'll put a link in the description for where you can find it. Also, please hit subscribe on this video. There's plenty of other videos I've done on the Cortex, which I've put in a playlist, which you'll find on my channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please hit like, hit the bell so you know when I brought out a new video, and I shall see you on the next video.